I get what you're saying for those people that fit that description, but what I mean is this. I think there are times when in a relationship you'll find one gender has a laundry list of things that they need and a very short list of things that they actually require of themselves in a relationship. And that in those instances, sometimes you need to have a list that presents a more balanced energy or balanced set of characteristics and components so that you can actually attract and maintain what you desire. A lot of
Yeah.
people put time into attracting what they desire, but have not built themselves up internally to be able to sustain it once they obtain it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I
Definitely.
by the building. They want to tell you that the grass is greener over there, but what I've been saying a lot lately is they didn't water the lawn, right? They didn't water the lawn with words and actions, right? They didn't seed the lawn, right? They didn't do the necessary components to expect a greener grass, right? So no matter where they move to, the grass is always going to not be as green as somewhere else because they ain't putting no work at all. They want everything already, that person flawless, damn near flawless, ready to go. And they ain't damn near flawless themselves.
Yeah, I don't think it's about seeking perfection. You definitely have to come prepared to do the work. That's the relationship. I think Aisha alluded to it earlier when she said getting in a relationship is not about you, it's about serving your partner, right? But I think that um, before you even get to that point where you want to show up and serve that person needs to come whole. Like they don't have to be perfect, but I don't want to deal with any dysfunctions. Like I remember a therapist told me once when I was navigating a former relationship, going through a divorce, um, I had this mindset of, I'm not looking for perfection. I kept saying, I'm not looking for perfection. And she had to help me out and to understand that it's nothing wrong with having standards. There's nothing wrong with not settling. And there is a difference between dysfunction and imperfection. I'm not looking for perfection, but I don't want someone who's dysfunctional. I don't want someone who's not fully operating however it is that they need to be operating in order to be a full functioning person. I'm trying to not make it technical. I'm technical by nature, but I need you to I don't need you to be in the shop. I don't need you to be over there on the shelf because you're not fully operating and doing what you need to do. Show up and do what you got to do so that when we come together, we can make something even more beautiful. You know what I mean? I don't want to have that pie. I know it sounds like very pie in the sky, but directly stated, going back to what I said about employment earlier, I don't need you to be perfect, but have a job. You know what I'm saying? Don't try to pursue me or be in a relationship with me if you don't even have steady income right now. You know what I mean? So
Respect.
That's what I'm talking about when I say I need someone to show up whole. I'm not looking for perfection. I don't need you to always be polished and say all the right things and all of that. I just need you to, are you able to sustain on your own 2 feet? You know what I mean? Regardless of me, are you able to one day be a partner and not necessarily be codependent on me? You know what I mean? So it's not about perfection, but it's definitely about a person showing up whole. That is just my key word in this season of life. I need you to be whole. You know what I mean? Before you start trying to pursue me. And that is why I think I'm having a challenge, because my standards are very high at this stage, because you live and you learn. You know what I mean? Don't settle. I tell people all the time, don't settle, because once you get in that relationship, and if you have that mentality of you're in a relationship to serve the other, to add value, then you're going to be working a whole lot more harder than you would if you were with someone who was already doing the work and showing up, someone who filled the voids that they might have before they start looking for someone else, to do it for them. What type of work have you done on yourself before you start pursuing someone else? How do you take care of your body? How are you eating? Are you working out? What are you doing? How are you making sure that you are adding value into your own life, creating your own happiness, so that when someone else comes along, it's just value add? they don't have to complete you. You know what I mean? And that's kind of my mindset, which is why I think I don't want to say I'm struggling. I think I said that earlier, but which is why it's taking me a little bit longer to find my person.
It was something that you said that just triggered something for me in terms of my thought. Is that showing up whole is somewhat a conundrum because you should I say that showing up whole is limited because you get to know who you are based on the relationships you have, right? And I'm not just talking about like boyfriend girlfriend relationships, but your relationship with parents, your relationship with friends, your relationship with coworkers. So when you think that you're showing up whole, you're only looking at it from one point of view, which is you. So you can actually think that you're showing up whole and I'm healed and I'm all, I'm all the things and I'm ready. But then you meet somebody in a relationship and they begin to be able to reflect areas in which you still need growth, where you still need to work on. And so, like you said, I can appreciate that you said, I'm not expecting perfection, right? So if you don't have I think there's a difference between expectations and standards, right? So I don't think you should necessarily, I don't want to say not have any expectations, but I think your expectations should be limited because if you have standards in place, then those standards should lead to the expectations that you desire, right? So
For sure, that makes sense.
yeah. So thinking about how we develop into our authentic selves, our whole selves, it takes other people to get us there. And so that's why I say there's the conundrum, because if you're the only one, if your view is the only viewpoint of who you are in terms of your wholeness, then you're limited because you need other viewpoints in order to project to see, oh, I still got some work to do here. You know what I'm saying? So that was just the thing that kind of came to my head when you said that.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, which is why I feel like when you reach a certain age, you're a little bit more aware of who you are because you've gone through those relationships, right? Like if you started dating in your 20s, if you got married in your 20s, those early relationships, not just romantic relationships either, but going back to the parental dynamics, your transformation is oftentimes triggered by experiences. So I agree with what you're saying. I just think at a certain age, most people have had enough experiences to know what they like, what they don't like, what they need to work on, in themselves, so on and so forth.